whenever the government puts grant funding into anything that's considered property or equipment, we have a financial interest in it, and all you gotta do is communicate. We're not against you, we're not gonna hurt you, we're gonna work every step of the way to help. So that's the biggest, I don't know how long some large piece of equipment may last. It may have a 20-year life or whatever, but please keep that in mind. The association can apply as a nonprofit.
Judy.
And again,
Sorry, go ahead.
How would coolers not be considered equipment?
well, if the association needs coolers, is that the coastal?
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I want to clarify to them. If they have a building, a large metal building that they own, but
And they want to buy
they
this
want to put the
cooler.
coolers in that building, that would be out.
Yep.
Sorry, I automatically saw building.
Yeah.
I automatically saw open the door. No, that
That
yes,
would, okay.
yes,
Or like a giant computerized grading system
Yes.
thing, machine.
Yeah.
right. The
That
trick's
everybody
going to
can
be
use.
whenever y'all are ready to apply, you have to word these applications to meet what the eligibility is asking for. And again, anybody can put these applications together. Call me, I'll sit with you. I will talk you until you're blue in the face and I'm purple in the face. And by the time you leave, you'll have plenty of notes to where you can work this out. Some people hire someone to put a grant application together. No funds, no grant funding can go to pay that person. Now, you may have someone with the association that's a grant writer that's knowledgeable, but none of the funds can go to pay that person. I just want to make that clear.
Is this one also a matching grant?
No,
No?
you do not have to have a match. It's not a requirement. Value added is a requirement. For every dollar that you ask in grant funds, you have to have a dollar, but not the rural business enterprise grant. Okay?
So if we had a co-op, then that would facilitate, help with this thing.
Now, the co-op is separate and apart. The co-op you'd be looking at alone.
But if you had a co-op and you had a building, they would pay.
Well, they apply under the rural business enterprise grant for the cooler.
Right.
That's the only program I have.
Not as a co-op,
Not as a co-op.
And we can apply as our Louisiana Pecan Growers Organization.
Yeah.
Because an RBEG co-ops are not an eligible applicant
No.
for whatever reason.
Eligible applicants, thanks Kevin, I should have said that first. Eligible applicants for the RBEG is either a public body, a nonprofit, or an Indian tribe. Okay.
But we qualify as our Louisiana Pecan Growers as a nonprofit. We qualify now.
If your setup, your structure's nonprofit, give you 501c3, C6, C1.
I don't know, the treasurer's not here. We're one of those.
Now, could a individual apply for a cooler type grant under that rural business
An individual is not eligible.
or
Public body,
public body?
town, city, municipality in a rural area, a nonprofit, and an Indian tribe.
Now, an individual could apply under the program that I mentioned in the energy efficiency if you have a pool already and you want to replace it with the same size that reduces energy consumption. You could, it'll pay 25% of the cost.
Go buy a cooler and tell them it's inefficient, we'll give you $100 to buy it. Get one that doesn't
Jump 3
work.
times, turn around.
Hold on, a little secondhand one. We don't want to overload y'all with information. We do want, when everybody leaves here, we want y'all to understand that if you have a question, you have an idea, you need something answered, even if we can serve as a resource and get you another connection, we want you to feel, please give us a call. If we can't directly do it, especially Kevin. Kevin has resources. He directs people. He makes sure that if you have a need, if at all possible, he'll find you a connection if we cannot assist you. And we like to explain to people why we cannot assist if we can't, but we try to get you as much information as we can. The next program I'm going to talk about, Rural Business Opportunity Grant. Now that one it's a tough program because the funds are so limited, and every year we don't know what initiative the administrator has in mind. We never know until kind of the last moment. But when you're looking at locally produced, local foods, know your farmer, know your food. All of those initiatives have been on the forefront in the last several years. And as the pecans are locally grown and y'all are selling within a 400-mile radius, I'm assuming, and all that falls in place. Y'all need to keep that in mind. The Rural Business Opportunity Grant is the grant where a cooperative, a nonprofit, a public body, or an Indian tribe can apply for a study. If you need some sort of feasibility study, market study, that's where that comes in. The maximum, and we never know until each year, but it's been $50,000 per application. So the maximum is 50. There's no minimum, there's no matching. But if you do have a match, it scores much better. I'll be very honest with you, I'll tell you right up front. Because it's so competitive, it's a national competition. The applications go to the national office. We put them together, we score them. If they do the selections where they're going to cut, they do the selections where they will take so many applications for competition. And you're looking at possibly, this year we had 2 that they asked for, which was fantastic. And of course, I love to see Louisiana get all the help that it can. So that's another avenue you might consider since you were talking about a marketing study. The program just closed. The only program that's open right now, of course, co-op is year-round, the assistance there. The value added closes on October the 15th. These programs have some opening dates and closing dates. The Rural Business Opportunity Grant just closed. The Rural Business Enterprise Grant is complete for this year, but I tell anyone that's interested, the trick is to get the application to me complete. We'll keep it on file until we have funding, because the state gets money, but we never have a clue of when the state will receive that money. But the second that money comes in and we know that it's there, we take the applications, we take the funds, and we keep rolling. We never stop. We never miss a lick. Yes, ma'am?
Like, for instance, that study. LSU has some programs where, for producers, where they kind of make it class projects, I guess, but they will go as far as they can for you. If LSU does your study for you, is there any prohibition against applying? If somebody like LSU, like not a commercial venture, you're not going to go out and hire a firm that does studies.
But LSU will charge you something. So if you
you
speak to LSU and you say, okay, I need this study and I can get this grant, I'm going to apply for it, and if I get this grant, and they say, okay, well, the study would cost you $20,000. Well, yes, they could do the study for you. It has to be independent. You know, somebody with the association couldn't do their own study naturally. It just has to be independent. LSU is
that would be
independent.
acceptable.
Any questions? Please, again, I know we're throwing a lot of information at you, but if y'all have a question, I have some cards. I think Kevin has some cards, and we'd be happy to help you, or if we can't, try to find you somebody that could help you, or anything that's needed. And thank y'all for inviting us.